Good evening, good morning, good night, good afternoon, Steeler Nation all over the world. We really have got that this afternoon, evening, morning, whatever we're on, all over the world. So not only am I here, Britsburgh Owen, I'm also joined by Steelers Nation Australia, Mr. Mark Davison and Makenzie Miller. So Mark, how are you, brother?
I'm doing really well. I had a nice bye up in Queensland where I won a gold playing pickleball. Thank you.
We love pickleball.
I don't know how long I can keep stringing this out for, but I want a gold. So you guys need to deal with that, all right? So I beat some of the old fellas. Some were about 65 years old, but a win's a win. Damn it, I'll take it.
Take it, man. Take it. Makenzie, how's LA and how are you?
Oh, it's great. Just another sunny day here in California. Everything's going well over here on my end. What about UK? How's it going over there?
So can I just say that I feel like I'm getting like a sunshine bullying here because obviously Mark's in Australia where it looks exceptionally sunny.
It's so nice at the moment. It really is. It's a great day.
Mackenzie's in LA where it's nice and sunny and hot, and I'm stuck in the UK where it's been cold and wet and windy all day. So hey ho, Oh well, never mind. We're joined by loads of people in the live chat already. So Daredevil is in the live chat. Steeler Girl as well is in the live chat. Where's Steeler Girl? There's Steeler Girl there. Claude Bishop as well joining us in the live chat as well. And also in the live chat is Jaime Carlo as well joining us. Claude saying good day to us all. So Claude's obviously gone Australian as well, Mark.
I think Claude might be Australian. I'm pretty sure. He was once American, but now he's coming down under, mate.
We're even joined by Reginald Rivers from Tennessee as well, from Bartlett, Tennessee. And Daredevil is also in Cali as well. Apparently it's 67 degrees in Orange County, which is cold apparently for California.
Well, I woke up this morning and it was 45 degrees. Let me tell you, it was freezing this morning. But now I'm by the ocean and it's a little breezier. So I'll say it's probably about like 62 now. So yeah, it's kind of chilly for California, I would say.
It's so funny when you say 45 degrees. That in my language is like death.
Yeah, well, it's Fahrenheit. So if that was Celsius, what would that be for y'all? Like 100 degrees?
Oh, we'd be dead. We wouldn't be living. It's too hot.
45 degrees Fahrenheit is 7 degrees Celsius. That's like tropical over here in England.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Makenzie, Mark, if you ever come to England, bring some coats, hats, scarves, gloves, jumpers.
Well, I went there, right? And I love wearing shorts. I hate wearing long pants. I just can't. I don't like doing it. I went over there with my dad when I was little, and the first thing I had to buy was long pants because it was that damn cold. Like I was an idiot.
I went to Ireland. I went over to. That's the only place I've ever really been in Europe, and it was cold when I was there. But I did bundle up, and I brought my scarves, my hats, my gloves, all the layers.
Did you understand their accent? Even I can't understand their accent.
Oh yeah. I'll never forget the day I go into a gas station to get some gum, and the guy scans it, and he's like, $3.35 is what you owe. And I was just like, oh, I love it. It's great. I love it. It's great.
There you go. Right. So joined by Todd in Arizona and Steeler Girl who is in Hawaii. I mean, how cool is that?
That's awesome. What island are you in, Steeler Girl? I want to know. I was in Hawaii.
So 81 degrees. God, that's balmy, man. That is proper warm. I'd die in that sort of temperature. Anyway, guys, shall we talk some Steelers football? It's been a bye week and we're heading towards a game. So let's talk some Steelers football. So let's start with Makenzie. Makenzie, what's been sort of your biggest story, your biggest thing to take away from the bye week so far?
Well, I think the biggest. Okay, so there's two big things I want to note on. One, TJ Watt's coming back with limited snaps. I think that's a huge thing to focus on, especially with the defense coming into this next game. We saw the defense struggle terribly once TJ Watt was gone. Even my fantasy can attest to it, from 22 points one week to 0 points the next. We struggled. So hopefully things will get back on the right page, the right foot with TJ back, even though he has limited snaps. So that is one thing that I kind of was following throughout this bye week. And then a little bit of like offensive drama, a little bit of chatter surrounding the offense, and Kenny Pickett addressing the media, doing what he thinks is being honest and saying how he really feels, what's going on. And then we kind of saw Mike Tomlin shut him down. So I don't know if you guys saw a lot about that, but I thought it was pretty insane, especially that we're only a few days away from the New Orleans Saints. There's a little bit of drama going on. What's your guys' take on that?
Just to remind you, people who don't know, obviously this Pickett Tomlin thing was Pickett said after the Eagles game, we need to study more. I don't think we study enough as a group. That was what he said after the Eagles game. Then on Tuesday in Tomlin's press conference, Tomlin said, I don't know what he was referring to there. I'm not going to try and add any colour to an opinion. I believe our guys study at an appropriate level, and I've seen that continually through the process. I'm not going to add any colour to an opinion that I am not highly familiar with. Mark, what's your take on that?
See, I'm in this instance, I'm more Team Kenny. If this is the appropriate level of study, the team sucks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where I'm a Tomlin guy, and I always will be, no matter what, right? But with 2-6, the appropriate level of study is not cutting it right now. The offense stinks, and to a certain degree, the defense is letting up big plays. The whole team as a unit is really bad. So Kenny's coming out and telling everyone what's going on. That no one's really studying, no one's taking accountability. And I don't think this team has taken accountability for a very long time for the Steelers, maybe since 2016, 2017, when all the old heads were there, right? To me, this is Tomlin just kind of hanging on to what he's been saying forever. Like, it's going to be okay, we'll be fine. And I do hope it is fine. But there's nothing wrong with more study. And not saying that you have to study for long hours, but maybe try and change it up. Maybe it does come in terms of team meetings. Maybe it is where Kenny stays back with the receivers and works it out. Kenny starts talking with Matt Canada. I had to say his name. I'm kind of sick of that dude, man. I really am. Because at the end of the day, it seems like that Matt Canada and Mike Tomlin, to a certain degree, are so confident. They're confident at being at 32nd best in the league or worse in the league right now as they would be being first. And I don't really get that. Like, where's the accountability in saying, oh, actually, we're stuffing up. We need to really go fix it. They're not doing that. And Kenny's coming out and saying, oh, we got to work harder. And they're saying, oh, actually, no, we don't need to work harder. We're doing okay. You're not doing okay. You're 2-6.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Guys, do you think it could partially be down as well to the fact that if Tomlin kind of agrees with Pickett and says, yeah, they do need to study more, that reflects badly on him as a head coach, that he's not got the control over the players and the players are getting away with it? Mark, what do you think?
He's in a rough boat, right? Because let's be honest, if this team was going 6-2 and Kenny said we need to study more, then there wouldn't be an issue. But because we're losing, we're going through this losing season. But it doesn't seem like Tomlin has really changed his coaching philosophy throughout the last few years. And I know you've spoken about it, Owen, too, what's been happening with the team. And their old ways of thinking the Steeler way doesn't really change. They don't go out there and get the big, contracts for coaches and stuff like that. They're still running the same plays. They're still running certain schemes. And, they went and got Coach Flores, but it hasn't really helped this defense at all. There's no real spark. There's no true veteran leadership. So to a certain degree, it could put him on the spot. But I'm at the point where it's like, if Tomlin is meant to be a fantastic coach, which I do praise him for the Super Bowls and the winning seasons, you have to turn it around like now. Like it's now or never. And if you go on a losing trend, and the thing is, you're lying to yourself if you're saying there's not a problem. Like, we could name how many problems on this team right now? Probably 10 to 15 problems easily, from offensive line to whatever. So Tomlin, I think to a certain degree, is protecting his job, or doesn't want to make a drama out of it. But Kenny's just saying what's going on, and no one's doing the job. And you see that. People check out on routes. People check out on plays. The O-line checks out. Najee Harris is checked out. Come on, man. This team needs a big spark. They need they need an ounce, a tiny bit of Troy Palamu, a bit of hair, and stick it to their head and see what, and just go out there and fight. It's hard to watch now, but I'm keen to see him play this week too.
Makenzie, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with what Mark just said, because you have to think about it like this: is Mike Tomlin trying to save his ass by kind of trying to cover up with Ken? I think Tomlin, as we've heard so far, is he does not like drama. He does not like the media knowing what's going on behind closed doors. He's made that apparent in the beginning of the season. And now we're seeing your quarterback kind of conflict with your head coach. I'm not saying that I'm a little worried, but I'm thinking there's a huge issue when you're not taking accountability for something that's not changing. So the fact that we are the same old Pittsburgh Steelers that we have been with Mike Tomlin the past 4 years have been very crucial, especially just trying to keep up with all these other teams that we've seen build over the past few years, seeing what they're doing now this season. We're behind the game. We're not up there anymore. We used to be, but right now we're not there. We're not there with the Bills. We're not there with the Dolphins. We're not even there with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs aren't even as good as they used to be. It's one of those things where you have to really sit back and evaluate what you are doing. Yes, you haven't had any losing seasons once with the Steelers, but hey, this might be the year because you're not doing something, taking accountability, changing what is necessary to get those wins, and especially helping this young quarterback that we're so confident in, right? But how can everybody be confident with a quarterback that's not, not connecting with his offense? I think Kenny did a great job of taking accountability by saying, yeah, we still have things we need to work on. And when you hear Coach Tomlin saying, no, I think are you doing the bare minimum? Are you doing what other teams are doing? Are you really doing everything, or are you just doing the bare minimum? And that's kind of where I'm sitting with that.
It doesn't make too much sense, does it? One player, 1 year star players, or rookie saying, actually, we need to do a lot of work, and he's coming new to the organization. And Tomlin's saying, no, we're fine. But then the overall result of 2-6 doesn't, is not reflecting how we're fine. It's to the point where I do believe they can actually turn it around. I really do. I think that Coach Tomlin and these guys can turn around with an easier schedule now. The Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers are in there. We're versing the gold. I think we can turn it around. But the big thing I've been talking about all these podcasts I do here, behind the Saw Curtain, my stuff, Owen stuff, whatever, right? The thing is accountability. And after a loss, you see it in the way that Matt Canada shrugs his shoulders. Oh, we're fine. We've got to work a few things out. We need to play better. Your team sucks. Like the offensive playbook sucks. Like it's absolutely awful. Like if we can call it in Australia, America, UK, then the defense knows what you're going to run. And Steel Girl said, if we run another run pass punt, I'm going to lose my mind. And this is the thing I do agree with the fire Tomlin crowd to a certain degree, right? You have, and I always stress this point, no matter what, if it's in the off season or this season now, you've had 10 days to get together a plan. And if you come out and you're not ready for this game, then the hype that is built up for me to cheer my team on, having 10 days to go and execute plays, is going to absolutely piss me off, because you've had so much time to prepare for the Saints. You always hear Tomlin talk about their key plays and how good they are, and yet they never stop them. That's a problem, right? So you have all this time to prepare, and nothing happens. And I think that's been the to a certain degree that the fire Tomlin crowd want to get rid of him, have a new start, because there could be someone new, fresh coming in. I'm not saying fire Tomlin. I actually I think what may happen in the future is they might have an agreement over the next 2 years and say, you know what, Tomlin, I'm done. Or Tomlin say, I'm done. And then Rooney say, you know what, we're both kind of done and we'll move away. That might happen. But if you're not ready for this game, it's gonna annoy so many people.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, as Todd says here as well, he said in the live chat, perhaps Canada's playbook can be studied in only a few hours. Perhaps it's a little, perhaps it's a pamphlet, not a book. I actually, you know what, guys, I'm actually in possession of Matt Canada's playbook. Here, look.
Wow.
Here it is. Look.
He's done it. Oh, my.
Genius. Wow.
So. Maybe that's right. Maybe it is just a pamphlet. I don't know. But on a serious note, you are correct. I think there has to be. I think I agree. I do agree with Kenny. There has to be a greater level of study. There has to be some more innovation there. There has to be a move away from a conservative scheme that they're calling at the moment. Perhaps Canada doesn't trust Pickett as a rookie. Perhaps that's why it's very conservative at this stage. But I was listening to Chris Carter talk the other day, and he was saying that if you watch the All-22 footage, there are guys getting open downfield. It's just that we're not taking the opportunity to throw the ball downfield. So I think we do need to see a change. And I think what we need to see is a more aggressive approach from the Steelers going forward, because this conservative approach quite clearly has not worked over these last few weeks. As we can see at a 2-6 record, we've got to be more aggressive going forward, or else, we have got an easier schedule. I mean, before the bye, we played 5 of the 8 top defenses in the NFL. After the bye, we've got teams that are not obviously as highly rated. I think obviously the only highly rated teams we've got left are people like the Baltimore Ravens, for example. So there is a need there to be more aggressive. So, guys, I think sort of looking ahead now, there has obviously been some concerning injury news and some positive injury news. Obviously, Makenzie touched on TJ Watt returning. Other good positive news on the injury front today is DeMonte KZ returning for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What sort of difference is that going to make, and how is that going to benefit the defense? So Makenzie, let's start with you.
Well, just looking also at the other injuries that we have on defense, I would say I'm not as optimistic as I would be this week, because I'm just looking at the list right now. I'm just trying to pull it up. Who else we have injured on defense? I can't remember off the top of my mind. But yeah, it's good. It's good that we have them coming back. That's good that KZ has came off IR. But again, we still have, I think they said Miles Jack was hurt.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. I wish I had the list in front of me.
I think Ogunjobi's in there too, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wish I could say I was a little bit more optimistic going into this week with our defense, because TJ's back, but TJ's also going to be limited to his snaps, right? So it's one of those things again where I'm also a little I'm concerned, more concerned than I would be, especially because the cornerback that we just traded for, he's also injured. So he has a lingering back issue that he's had with the Redskins that he's not completely healed yet. What else? There's another guy that I just saw. I'm like I said, I wish I could be more optimistic, but I'll let you take over.
The thing is too, though, like Watt hasn't been activated just yet, which is, I think I'm a bit concerned a tiny bit. They activated KZ. They've, of course, Chris Boswell is injured. I think is a really big injury too, to his groin, and they bring in Matthew Wright. Well, he played with us before. That's fantastic, right? But he's going to be on IR. So KZ's been activated, which is fantastic. I think he's going to change the game, or in my mind anyway, and what I hope, what I can see, and if they can implement KZ playing, because he's fantastic. He's got over 200 tackles. He's a turnover machine. He's got a lot of interceptions, a lot of fumbles. He played really big with the Falcons in a kind of a bag organization. I think he can go into that, like, safety role with Terrell Edmonds. And if those three can play together, Terrell Edmonds, Minka, and KZ on the field together, because he played really great in preseason too. However, Watt hasn't been activated yet, and we're getting so close to the game, and I'm not too sure if they will activate Watt for this game. I hope they do, and I hope he's healthy, right? But it seems like without Watt, this team can't win. And there's such a big disconnect there with this team that they haven't got any leaders. Cameron Hayward can't do it himself, and he's been trying to do this stuff himself for ages, right? But even I think Malik Reed had time off today for personal reasons or something like that. Miles Jack's out now for something I don't even know why he's out, but he's out now, and with the new cornerback. So it seems to be all these injuries coming back again. But I want to find out if they're going to activate Watt, because that's going to be Andy Dalton's nightmare.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to touch on. I found the list. Akila Witherspoon was out, did not practice yesterday with hamstring injury. Miles Jack, knee injury, and then Larry Ogunjobi, knee injury, did not practice, along with William Jackson because of his back, and then obviously Chris Boswell, we just said, his groin. So those guys, those names right there are kind of big as well for us. So we really could use everything that we have right now.
It is a concerning list. I mean, I'm just looking at the list. Obviously, you had there, Makenzie. William Jackson III again out. Just which begs the question: how did he pass a medical? If this guy's come in and he's injured straight away, how has he passed the medical? I mean, I presume that, like in soccer in this country, players have to pass a medical just before they sign a contract. So how did he pass a medical? Obviously, Witherspoon out, which obviously again trims the cornerback room down to Pierre, to Wallace, and to Sutton. Jack being out is a huge thing, because that then will say that if Jack doesn't play, we're going to have to rely on Robert Spillane and Devin Bush. Now, Devin Bush has looked better this season, but I don't know what you guys think about Robert Spillane. I personally am not a fan of Spillane at all. I don't think he is a starting quality.
Here's a better question. Why won't they play Mark Robinson and give him a shot?
Yeah,
I think even DK Sports talked about it yesterday or the day before, and I was listening to him, like, if they were to play Mark Robinson now, he hasn't any reps. They haven't bled him in. You know what I'm saying? This whole organization right now is kind of doing it like backwards the way they used to do, where they wouldn't play these guys for 3 or 4 years, but all the injuries come into to a foot now. We kind of need them. And Spillane's just a guy. Like we all saw him what he did against Lamar Jackson, that great interception. he's all I know is playing for is a 2-player guy. Other than that, you don't see anything else. And to this day, Owen, we still haven't seen Marcus Allen have any, I guess, splash plays. I don't think. Didn't we talk about it before? That he's got nothing. Like, he has no defense, no fumbles, no tackle for loss, nothing. So what does he do? So we got a lot of good starters, I guess, to a certain degree. But when they go down, there's nothing behind that.
100% agree. Yeah, I mean, obviously that linebacker room starts to look thin because, like you said, Robinson hasn't had any experience. Marcus Allen, look, I'm with your mate Matty on this one. I seriously do not see how that man makes the roster. I know he can play special teams, but how many players have we got on this roster because they can play special teams? Marcus Allen contributes absolutely zero to the defense. I mean, I haven't got the stats, but I bet his percentage of defensive snaps played is down in the teens to the 20% maximum. Makenzie, have you got any strong opinions on Marcus Allen or the linebacker corps?
No opinion. How about that?
You haven't seen him. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a concern. Obviously, Boswell being out obviously is a concern because Boswell is Mr. Money in the bank. He is, our go-to guy, and it sort of also makes my prediction as well of the Steelers winning 21-13 with 7 Boswell field goals, fall apart a little bit. But right, like you said, Mark has played with us before. He's got a decent enough percentage. I think it's about 87-88% his percentage rate. He's kicked 28 of 32 field goals in the NFL, so he's not bad. But yeah, injuries are a major concern on defense. Now, if we sort of look ahead now to try and look ahead to the Saints game, and let's think about, Mark, one of your favorite topics. Let's think about the offense. And there's going to have to be a change in the offense going forward because obviously, they traded away Mark's favorite player, Chase Claypool. Mark still hasn't got over that.
See you later, mate. Oh, it's really hurt me. That's really hurt the heartstrings.
So what do you want to see from the offense what are the key things you want to see from the offense on Sunday against the Saints?
You know what?
Yeah.
Jokingly, first downs would be great. I just think it is honestly really hard to watch. I do believe that they have to. It comes down to fundamentally, I think, from coaching. Right? Coaching first, I believe, sets the standard for what you're going to do to the players. Everyone can blame the players for dropping the ball, being really bad, offensive line being really bad, but there's coaching, right? Coaching, and then also commitment to the play. I don't see any fire with this team, really, to be honest. I don't see any fire that's saying, "Oh, we want to go out there and win." They're just going through the motion to get a paycheck or just to go through the training and that's it. But what I want to see, I want to see them target Muth. I want to see them give the ball to players who want the ball, who want to go forward. Like Muth, Haywood, Sims, those guys. DJ doesn't want the ball, man. I'm telling you, he doesn't want it. You can tell in his press conferences. I know he's a soft-spoken guy, but you can tell how in his mannerisms how he doesn't want to be. I really don't think he wants to be there. I don't know what he wants to do. It just seems like they're always making excuses, And it's come to a point where if you are coaching this team, then put some fire in the belly of these fellas and see what can happen. Start Warren. But the thing is, we say all these things and it never bloody happens.
Never.
That's the problem.
Never.
We know our coaching our team too well. That you think of all these ideas. You can use Sims here. You can use Muth. You can use Haywood. You use Warren in certain packages. Hell, bring up Snell. Bring up McFarland. Will they do it? No, they won't do it.
Yeah, I agree. And even Pickens, for instance, last week he was only he had 3. They threw it to him 3 times and he had 0.
What are they doing?
3. He's one guy who we know wants the ball. We know we can be confident with Pickens. We know that if his first priority is getting his feet in bounds, you got a good one, because that is the biggest thing nowadays with these receivers and making big plays is their feet are not in bounds. And one thing about Pickens is that we know that we can rely on him. So why don't we pass to Pickens on the first play of the game? Why not? Why not change it up? Be creative, like you said. So original. Nothing's changing. We need creativity. Like all these other teams that are succeeding, they are being creative. Where is that? Where's our creative guy? We need a little bit of a Mike McDaniel, a little bit of a Nick Sirianni. We need a mixture of these guys to help us. Help us.
Canada tries to be creative, but I think he does it in a different way. He does like in a splash play way where he'll do a certain play that won't make sense to the drive. You know, he'll go do a massive good pass down the field to someone to open up for a first down. The next minute, he's 40 yards out. You're moving the football down the field, and he'll do a reverse that goes nowhere. You know, and it's very frustrating. Or last year, you saw that pass to Najee Harris when you're 8 yards away from the end zone, and you're was it like 3rd and 14 or something? You got it's really frustrating to watch. And I'm not a coach, but if other guys can do it in the NFL, why can't you?
Yeah.
And there's no responsibility for Matt. There's no accountability for Matt Canada saying, because he's you know what? I think he has a bigger ego than Tomlin. I reckon. I think he has a bigger ego than Tomlin, knowing he's got the job. And he's like, well, he even knows that he gets talked about too. They're all talking about me, but I can't lose my job. So I don't know. But to be honest, they got to run the football. Effectively, they need to do the O-line needs to get some push. And I don't care how you draw it schematically. You got the guys in front of you. You got to take care of them, and they're not doing that. And Najee's getting pushed back, and they're not using the plays that put him in the best position to win. And we all get hyped up. Every single Steel fan around the world will get hyped up. And the minute we see a run for 2 yards, it's going to hurt. Mm-hmm. It's going to hurt.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I can just anticipate that right now. I'm like, okay, it's like cringe. It's like, do you really want to watch like the first play of the game? Like, it's like, what are we gonna say? God.
Absolutely. I mean, is it? I'm trying to find the quote now. It's Daredevil says, "Go with what Ben said: pass on first, pass on second, pass on third, throw the ball deep." But I think Makenzie, you're spot on with the fact we've got to target Pickens more often. George Pickens is the best naturally talented receiver we've got on that team. The guy's body control is incredible. I mean, the way he goes up for the ball reminds me a little bit of Lynn Swan. His body control when he comes down is a bit like Randy Moss. He's got speed. He's quick. And he's got that attitude as well about him. He's not intimidated by opposition defensive backs. He is not intimidated by anybody. He's just a natural talent. And I mean, you look at when he was in training camp, Minkah Fitzpatrick is famous for trying to get into rookie and young wide receivers and test their mettle, like he did with Claypool when Claypool got in the fight and got battered by Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick tried to do the same thing with George Pickens. Pickens went up, beat him, high pointed the ball, beat him, came round, turned to him and said, "Don't you say," I'm not going to swear, but don't you say to Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's got that attitude. He's got the moxie, hasn't he? He is an absolute. I don't know why we aren't using him more often. He isn't scared of anyone.
Here's the key, though. So when we use the word, like, why aren't they using him? Isn't it offensive coordinator who coordinates the offense should be implementing strategies to get him wide open? You don't see it. Like, I'm so frustrated being a fan because you put the game on today, and I guarantee you the Falcons will I don't even know who the receivers are, but they'll get their receivers open. I don't see any yard after catch. I don't see anything like that where they're designing the rub routes. Everything is to the sidelines, the comeback routes, and that's it. There's nothing over the middle. There's nothing where you're targeting a safety where it's one-on-one or it's one-on-one on cornerback or stuff like that. They're full of screens, full of reverses. It's the same playbook, and I believe even some of the pros who come out and say that Matt Canada's offense has 15 plays. Legit. There is nothing else. Nothing builds into the excitement of like, okay, we're going to run this certain drive, and they've got the weakest player here. We're going to take advantage of their middle linebacker. You never see it. And that's what frustrates me. Why can't you go and target their defense, right, or one of their worst players, their cornerbacks, and use Pickens like that and get him involved? But they just don't do it. They handicap the quarterback a lot. They handicap the offense, and they don't change anything. And that falls on Tomlin and falls on Matt Canada. And until we see something change where this system works, to me, it's broken. It's 100% broken. And I want to see him win, but we are going to be very frustrated. All three of us are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think Daredevil makes a really good point here. Muth in the middle. I think that's absolutely key. Absolutely key. Sorry, Makenzie, what are you going to say?
No, I said, yeah, like so it's like,
yeah,
let's bring some old school Steelers plays back. Like, come on. Like, it's so easy to, like, Pat Freiermuth is such a good player. Like, he is so good. Like, he hopefully will be around for a while to help us, get to our next Super Bowl. Like, hopefully we can see him get a Super Bowl for us. But again, let's be creative with him as well. Like, come on, y'all. Like, what are we doing?
I was reading an article today. I can't remember where it was, which site it was, but they were talking like Makenzie just said about Heath, and they were saying how for Ben, Heath kind of became that comfort blanket, that go-to guy when everything, when there was no run on, when there was no long pass on, going to Heath over the middle, and Heath was always the guy who used to fight, battle, get yards after catch, didn't drop the ball, was super dependable. And they were saying that we've got to develop Muth into that type player for Pickett, that he becomes Pickett's comfort blanket, the guy over the middle that Pickett goes to when he needs the out ball, when he needs to get that first down on third down. Like Ben used to do with Juju to some extent. Yes, Mark, what were you going to say?
I've just got a good analogy for you guys, right? So, how long do you think that Matt Canada's been a coach in the NFL? Like, have a random guess. Don't Google. I already Googled it. Like, his very first coaching assignment.
Oh God, was it this job? Was it this?
No, it's like back in college days. But like, how long do you think he's been like a coach in the NFL? Like some level, high school or like college, like any number.
Years.
How many?
20.
More.
15.
25.
25 years. 25 years.
That was my second guess.
He's been a coach. This is what really pisses me off, right? He's been a coach in this. He's been coaching football. It doesn't change. Football doesn't change from high school to college to NFL. It changes certain bits, right? But you have this offensive coordinator who's 32nd in the league, who's been playing or been around football for 25 years. Owen, I used to pour beers for a living like 4 years ago, right? I was a bartender for 4 years. Yeah. If you knew I was pouring a beer for 25 years and I poured you a flat beer, what would you say to me without swearing?
I tell you, you're an idiot and tell you to learn how to do your job properly.
Exactly.
How long have you been doing this for again? Really? You're a vet? Because it seems like you're just new to all this.
There we go. Inconsistency.
Mackenzie's much more polite than me.
Inconsistent, right? So if I'm doing a job for 25 years, this is why I always find it funny how, that we say they're bad here and there, but like the timing too, you've had 10 days to prepare. At the end of the day, you're getting paid to do a job. The media scrutiny right now is all around you because you're doing a bad job. If you're not doing it correctly, go and find someone else. And that's where we're at with this guy. Like, this is the most frustrating offense I think we've all seen to watch. You have a young rookie quarterback who won't let it fly. Exactly. Come on, man. I know it's hard. I'm telling you. So, I don't know. The thing is, prove me wrong, Canada. Start throwing the ball where it is, 1st and 10. You come out there. Everyone's excited. But you know what we always see? It's the slow clap huddle. It's slow to the line. You're going to see one guy in motion. I'm going to predict it's going to be Gentry in motion, right? Put this on tape. And you're going to see a Najee run up the middle. That's what's going to happen. They're going to come out too wide. It'll be Pickens, probably DJ. I'd probably say Heath and maybe Gentry. That's maybe too many players. I'm not too sure. No, it's not. It's all right. And then you have Najee Harris. So you're going to see. So Zach's going to go in motion to the left, come back. Najee Harris at the middle. Formation-wise, this team's already figured this out. So it's annoying to me that nothing's changing. It's just crazy. But I really hope they can change.
Now, I don't know whether you've seen today, there was both Mason Cole and Kenny Pickett have spoken about post-bye week. And Mason Cole was talking about the fact that he feels the offense have reset and are rejuvenated after the bye week. And Kenny Pickett was talking very much the same, that the offense had a new pep in their step. I think that's what he said. Do you think part of the problem with I know Canada is the fundamental problem with this offense, but do you think part of the problem was that Pickett was thrown into that worst run of games, and maybe if they'd saved bringing Pickett into after the bye, when he could have had more preparation time, we may have seen a different offense, or we may see a different Pickett? I don't know. What do you think, Mark? What's your opinion?
I think so. I think looking back at it, in hindsight, we would have been the same scenario, right? Just play Drew Brees the whole time. But I actually think they stuffed up the quarterback competition anyway. To be honest, they either could have went with Kenny at the start or given Mason a shot. I don't know. I really think I think they stuffed it up. Kenzie, go ahead.
I was literally just about to say, I think they should have just started Kenny from day one. I'm going to say this. I said this beginning of the season. I said this halfway through when he started. He should have been thrown in the trenches like we saw Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Fields. All of these guys got thrown in there. Why aren't we seeing this outstanding quarterback get the chance to compete with all the other guys in the league. So now he's 4 games missed from being a potential starter for the Steelers, where you could have been learning, made all your learning mistakes early in the season, get it together, get the flow going a lot better. I just think that starting him 4 games in was not setting him up for any sort of success. Not.
They might have also, the way that Coach Tomlin does it, and you spoke about it too, Owen, he holds his cards way too close to his chest, right? And doesn't give away what he's doing. But at the same time, if you went into the offseason knowing that Kenny Pickett was your guy and you told Trubisky, hey, mate, you're going to be backup, and we signed this guy from the draft and he's going to be our number 1, you could have prepped the whole offseason to go with Kenny Pickett and get him ready and get him first reps, but they didn't do that. They split the reps. They and I think in other times in the NFL, it doesn't really work splitting the reps. You know, people talk about it. You need to work with the ones and get that consistency. And that didn't happen. Maybe that's why that Claypool's gone as well, because it wasn't working out. And maybe that's not his fault. Maybe it's the coaching and they couldn't figure it out. If you started with Kenny Pickett from the start, where you had him learning the ones and getting in there, and he's the guy, and the team rallies behind the guy, they're not rallying behind. They're not getting questions from the media. Who's going to be 1? Who's going to be 2? It was really a debacle, I think, in my opinion. Go with Kenny and see what happens. You're in the same spot you are now. But with the bye week, if they think it's a fresh start, I'm keen for that.
Yeah, I think it's like what someone I've got massive, huge respect for. You know, Coach Cower has spoken a couple of times about the offense, about quarterbacks and whatever, with everything with the Steelers. I mean, first of all, he said in the offseason, you cannot have a 3-way quarterback competition. It is not possible. He tried it with, I think it was Jim Miller, Mike Tomczak, and Cordell Stewart. And in the end, he made Cordell Stewart into wide receiver because he couldn't split the reps 3 ways. And then he criticized the offensive coordinator and I think Tomlin indirectly as well for the way they've handled Pickett, that they're putting too much responsibility on him. They're putting the ball in his hands too much. And I think Coach Cowher is absolutely spot on with what he's saying. I think, like you're saying, Mark, the coaching perhaps has not helped at all. Steelers Freak says Pickett panics and gets happy feet, doesn't stay in the pocket and sticks with his first reads. Those things can be fixed, but it must happen fast or time for another. I don't agree with that last bit, but I think, it does need to be fixed. And I think, is Matt Canada the right man to fix that, though? That's the issue, because that's one thing I don't understand. Do you think part of Pickett's struggles this season are down to the way he's been handled, not just by Matt Canada, but by the whole offensive coaching staff?
Yes.
Yeah,
Makenzie?
I just want to say that I think that especially getting thrown in week 4, you don't have that chemistry with your offense like you would have if you would have been practicing, like we said, during the preseason, getting those first string snaps. Like, the chemistry clearly wasn't there. So there's obviously going to be a disconnect when he starts. You can say all you want that Kenny would be okay. So Alex Mahoney says Kenny would have been labeled a bust if they started him week 1. I don't agree with that, because you saw Tua do the same exact thing the first few years with the Dolphins. You could have said that for Tua. I heard so many Dolphins fans saying, hey, Tua's probably not the guy. But look, you get a new coach, you get young, fresh coaching staff with a creative mindset, and look at them now. So why can't we have that sort of creativity boost us up to where we need to be?
Absolutely. I mean, the issue we've got is, if you look at our offensive coaching staff, if you take Mike Sullivan out of the equation for a minute, Eddie Faulkner worked with Matt Canada at North Carolina, and I think at Wisconsin as well. Chris Frisman-Jackson worked with Matt Canada at NC State, and Alfredo Roberts worked with Matt Canada as well. They're all Canada's men. They're all implementing Canada's system. That is part of the issue. Sorry, Mark, cut you off there. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say it's the old adage where, you like to think that it's the Steeler way, and the Steeler way right now is designed by defense, and it's not the new regime of the last few years has been about offense. All right, you got to score points, and you're not scoring points. And if Matt Canada has all these guys under him, or they're all mates and stuff like that, then no one, someone said before, you're surrounded by a bunch of yes men, and yes men are not good for overall your success. Like, what is good for your success is being told your faults, and they're telling him his faults to a certain degree, and Matt Canada doesn't care, and Coach Tomlin doesn't care either. That's why I think there's a lot of pressure on these guys. So fundamentally speaking, this team is in big shambles, like right now, but I hope they can beat the Saints. I really do. But there's a chance that this may come down to the wire, and it's a 24-21 Saints win. Like, I don't know if you guys think the Steelers can win this game or not, but I just always get this feeling in the back of my, like in my heart, like I go, I want they can win, and they get like, oh, it drags me down.
Do you know? Did you know though that I mean, look, I'm going to try and be, as we finish this podcast, I will try and be positive. But just on a note here, Mike Tomlin in his coaching career with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 16 years, it has beaten 31 of the 32 NFL teams.
Yeah.
Do you know who the only NFL team he has never beaten is?
Patriots.
Nope, he's beaten them.
Nah. Saints.
He's 0-3 against the Saints. The Saints are the only team he has never beaten.
Jeez.
What if this is the year that it happens just for this exact reason? I don't.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
What?
Let's hope so. You know.
Hey, we got $1.
Hey, thank you, Peter Piper. Obviously from that pepper that he picked, I think. Peter Piper said earlier in the live chat, he said, "Would you say Big Ben for the next OC?"
Well, that depends on Big Ben.
Yeah, literally. Does he want to get himself wrapped into this drama?
I wouldn't want to. I would be like, nah.
I'd be like, hey, I'm okay.
He's doing podcasts. He's got 30,000 subs. He's like, why would I want to get involved in that mess? I'd rather just talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Maybe Tomlin can learn a thing or two from me.
I don't think Ben will want to get involved in coaching. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he'll be interested at all. I think he said in the past that he doesn't want to be a coach as well. I think he's actually come out and said that doesn't really interest him. Plus, look, I love Ben to bits. I think Ben's amazing, and he's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever in NFL history. But I honestly don't think he'd make a great coach because he's not that type of person. He's more take everything on himself, do it all himself kind of guy. He's not a guy who likes to delegate to others. And I just think he would struggle at the whole coaching thing personally. I mean, feel free to shoot me down, but that's just my opinion on Ben. And I said, I love Ben to bits, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he'd make a great coach. But let's bring it round back to, so we're over the time. We are getting a bit long now. So let's bring it back to the game on Sunday. So if we had to pick three key things the Steelers have got to do on Sunday to win the game, okay, what are those three key things on offense and defense that the Pittsburgh Steelers have got to do to win this game? Mark, let's start with you.
They got to shut down Kamara. That's one. And I'm talking about like in the receiving game. He gets more receptions, I think, than he does running the football.
Yeah.
Sticking with the defense too. If TJ doesn't play, they need to get to Andy Dalton. Like dead set, they need to figure out how to pressure him. Like I'm talking like I think we are the least sacks in the league right now. We're not even getting pressures.
Yeah.
So I think even get some pressure on him. Design some blitz schemes. The 4 men up front. I think they need to pressure him because if Andy Dalton, he's a veteran man. He'll get comfortable. He'll find who's Chris Olave, what his name is. He'll find those guys. He'll find the receivers wide open, and stuff like that. Holy dooly! We got $20.
Jeez. The 2 days, 15 from this.
Stop that. Ignore that.
Do you know how much money that is in Australia? That's like $1,000.
You're full of it, Mark. Hey, with inflation, hey, you never know because you've got inflation in the States, haven't you? By the end of this podcast, that may be worth $100.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good point. The inflation here is terrible.
That's how much my fuel costs now for a liter. About $20, I think.
So, Makenzie, what are your three keys for Sunday?
The New Orleans defense is pretty good. They just got Tyrann Mathieu, right? So that's gonna be interesting, nonetheless. If our offense can somehow manage to be successful around the New Orleans Saints defense. So that's one thing that I know that it's probably very important for us. Another thing is just being smart. Just being smart about what we do with the ball. We've seen a lot of oopsies plays from us already this season where we weren't being smart. We just got to be smarter about how we play and how we put together this game. We talked about the offense already. That's going to be another huge key. Can we mesh? Are we connected? Are we a family? Do we want to trust our guys to be there for us? I think trust is a whole other part that plays into it. Like we said earlier, that Ben could trust Heath We want to be able, we want Kenny to be able to trust the guys he's giving the ball to. So that I think is very important.
Yeah, I think, absolutely. I think target George Pickens as well and Muth as much as often. And like Mark said, get after Andy Dalton is a key. Dalton's not a great quarterback. Get after him, put him under pressure, stop them from scoring. And I think that the O-line has got to, like Makenzie said, the Saints defense is a decent defense. They've got a decent pass rush. Cam Jordan, I think, one of their pass rushers. So yeah, definitely protect Kenny and give him a chance to actually throw the ball.
Can you just bring up live free and die? I just want to make a comment. So it says here, and I won't go too into political talk, but he says still better living in social as hell like Australia. Look, I'm allowed to go to the beach 5 times a day, all right? That's pretty good. I'm allowed to go to the beach 5 times a day. My government lets me, okay? That's better than 4. So step off, mate, all right?
And I'm just going to say in response to that as well, not trying to be political, but in response to that, I just had an operation and it cost me that much.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so
I'm allowed to shop for groceries when they hold my hand. It's okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll stay in my socialist hell. Thank you very much, and have operations for free. Anyway,
we're going straight to communism, so he shouldn't be complaining.
Let's not get into politics. Okay, let's get to something that's much more realistic and much more interesting and much less controversial than America at the moment. Score predictions. Now, let's have a quick look in the live chat. So JJ52 says Steelers 24, Saints 21. So Makenzie and Mark, have a think about your predictions. Peter Piper says Pittsburgh 23, Saints 17. Steeler Girl says 24-21 Steelers. Steelers Freak, I really hope this doesn't happen, but 9-6 overtime either team.
That's terrible. Don't say.
I'll be tempted to turn that off. Brian Harrington says 2016 Steelers pull it off if TJ plays.
Maybe 21.
Todd Sulkowski says 2013 Steelers. Don't think I've missed any in the live chat. No, not so far. So yeah. Predictions. Mark, what's your prediction?
What's Alvin Kamara's number?
I don't know. I'll have to have a look.
Oh, you guys ruined my joke. It's 41. I'm going 41-0.
Oh man.
Just jokingly, but yeah, why not? Nah, look, honestly, they got to go out and win big. Remember that game we had Steelers versus Panthers a few years ago when it was like really fun to watch? We won like 54 to something, like 20 something.
Yeah.
If you had this much time and you have all the pieces you need, you traded away Claypool to bring in up Sims, that kind of stuff. You have like a new offense, I guess, a new mindset. Why can't you go out there and put some points up? So I want to see the game that we probably should see at this time. We should be seeing a 2 TD for Pickett. And a win. So I'm not saying 41-0, but like that's jokingly, I hope they win like something like that. But maybe it hurts me to say, but 31-20 Steelers. But how are they going to score 30 points? They can't even score more than 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Makenzie, what's your prediction?
I think it could be close. We could see maybe 21-17.
21-17. Okay. I'm going to go for 22-13 to the Steelers. So that's 5. That's all field goals and a Minka pick 6.
Okay.
All right.
I'd like to see some defensive points, honestly. I mean, we know we can do it. We've seen it multiple times before. Why don't we put some faith in our defense to score some points? Why not?
Mark Steeler Girl's lolling at you. I'm not quite sure what she's lolling at you about something.
I don't know. Maybe the 41 points. What? But we just need this. The Steelers fans need this game where we can sit back at 3/4 time, 4/4 time, and be like, all right, get the beers out, start drinking, and just chill and watch the game. And we don't have that. For 2 years, we've had heart attack games all the time. We need a game where it's like 14 points, 21 points above. And we're like, yes, we did that. And the defense is it is 31-3 like the Buffalo Bills do today. We just don't do that. It doesn't happen.
No.
I think, was it PS? I think TJ, if TJ plays, it really does change this game, doesn't it? He is a one-man wrecking crew.
Big time.
Sean Manahan says, but do you really trust Canada to call a good offense? And that's why I said all field goals and a pick 6.
G'day, Keith.
Keith, hi Keith, glad to have you on board. Yeah, I think so. It's gonna be a fascinating game. Let's hope we can get back. We are going into a run of 4 winnable games.
Definitely
4 winnable games. Saints, Bungles without Jamar Chase, Falcons, Panthers. I think that's right. And then obviously I think the game after that is the Ravens at home. But it is 4 winnable games. Four chances to get us back to 6-6 to an even record. And let's just hope they can take it.
So they wake up. They've got to wake up. Team's got to wake up and just got to go. At the end of the day, just go out there and play your hardest and see if they can win. And they're just not doing that. They're not in the right fundamental coaching scheme, and they're just not. JJ says, "Show the game." I don't know, man. Look, I'm going to be so hyped, but I'm telling you right now, guys, I will film my reaction, throwing myself through the window if I see a run pass.
Me too. Same. I'm there with you. I'm right there.
I don't even care if it's a run, but maybe not a run up the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe like to the side, or a delayed handoff. I don't know. Halfback toss, maybe. Something different, but straight the middle.
I know. So I think it's got to be something in there. I was watching. I think I watched a couple of the games from last week, and the inventiveness from the different offenses was just something refreshing to see. Even the way they handed the ball off to the running back was slightly more inventive than
watch any game like the Eagles coordinators, the Bills, the Jets, anyone like that. You'll see a real offense, like actually moving the football down the field. You watch our Steelers, and it's like the defense already knows. They're already 8 men in the box. They already know.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I watched the Georgia Tennessee game last Saturday night. Even Georgia had a better offense than the Steelers. The creativity was even better, and that's college football. I think LSU did against Bama as well. So that was just well. Anyway, guys. So Mark,
I was going to make a joke. You want to know why we haven't had much success with Matt Canada?
Go on.
Because he primarily coached ACC teams, and our ACC teams notorious for having legacy football teams. No, sorry.
That's Mackenzie's Penn State bias against Pitt coming through there.
We're SEC. I went to school in the SEC. The SEC is most and the Big Ten dominant. You never see either. Clemson is the only ACC team you really see go and win national championships. But I'm not going to get into that anymore.
One more thing, because we got Keith in here as a new listener, and Keith says, "What do you think of losing top picks at each round?" You mean as in like tanking? I will never support tanking no matter what, even if we are in a situation where we need to lose the last game to go up to be first. I'll never support that. I'll always support my team to win. Some will call me crazy where you have to do it, but a lot of guys are checking out now. A lot of guys we're 9 games away and we're checking out. But reality speaking, we're still in the chance for wild cards. I know the playoffs are really far away. But to me, we don't want to have that losing mentality. We have. Oh damn, that's bad. What is it? 1970. Wow, that's bad. So you don't want that loser mentality. I think the Steelers are starting to get that loser mentality. We really are starting to get that loser mentality. But I don't support taking it all. But I want to see them go out there and put a full game on, and let's mix it up. Kenny Pickett to Pickens and Muth and these guys, and run the football effectively with what? I don't know. I just want to see something different.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, thank you to Mark and Makenzie for joining us on our Steel Syndicate podcast tonight. We've talked over loads of different things. It's been fun talking. Thank you to everyone in the live chat. Had loads in the live chat tonight. It's been a fantastic podcast. Let's look forward to Sunday. Hopefully, when we come back with the post-game show on Sunday, we are celebrating a Steelers victory and the record moving to 3-6. And we are celebrating a blowout Steelers victory.
Hopefully, fingers
crossed. 41-0.
Mark it now. Do you know what? If we win 41-0 now, I'll be absolutely gutted I didn't put any money on it. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, we gotta hope, guys. We need to hope. Something.
Before we head off, guys, Mark, anything you want to plug or any final thoughts?
Nah, man, just go Steelers, eh? Honestly, God, I just want to see them win. I've got Steel Nation Australia, but you can go sub there if you want to. I'm on 907. Do what you want to do. I just want to see them win. I'm just really sick of the heart attack games. I just want to see him go out there and smash him. It's Andy Dalton, bro. Andy Dalton, go on, man.
The red rifle.
Dalton. Literally, he was. Oh my God, it's freaking Andy Dalton, y'all. Come on.
Makenzie, anything you want to plug or any any final thoughts?
I second Mark. I just want to see a win. Just a win. Come on, a W. Just give us a W. Let's go Steelers. Here we go.
Yeah. And guys, if you are first time you've seen Makenzie, you haven't seen her on any of my podcasts, her Twitter handle is there behind her name. So follow her on Twitter. Some great content there as well. Okay, guys, let's look forward to Sunday. Let's get ready for a Steelers game. Let's hope we haven't got to get the heart attack medicine and the blood pressure monitors out on Sunday. Let's be optimistic and think positively about our Steelers. Mark, do you want to see us out?
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.